I'm excited, and I feel like I say that in almost every video, but I really am. I guess I do get excited about the things I share, but anyway, no, I really am excited today. I am going to be sharing Around the World with Picture Books Part 2 from Beautiful Feet Books. I'm going to do an overview and a flip through of the entire course, and then later on in the school year, I'll do a lesson and a more in-depth review of how we made it work. So for today's video, we're just going to do a flip through and kind of see an overview and the books that I've chosen from the library and all that fun stuff. So let's get started. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Lauren. I'm a homeschooling mom to 3 girls, 5th grade, 3rd grade, and 1st grade. And even though this course says that it is for, I think, kindergarten to 4th grade, 3rd or 4th grade, my 5th grader is actually doing it. We did part 1 last year. And so if you're interested in what part 1 looks like, I have several videos on that I will link below so that you can get a feel for that as well. Part 1 covers Asia and Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. And so we covered those 4 continents last year. This year with part 2, we are covering Europe and South America. Now, it doesn't really matter which order you go in. You could do, part 2 first and then part 1. It really doesn't matter. It just, I guess, depends on what areas you would like to study first. So again, so my 5th grader, she will be using this. She's really excited. She really loves listening and learning about all these different countries and just getting that experience and the geography and all that fun stuff. So anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'll show you kind of what the inside looks like, what books come with it. And then I am already starting, we're going to start off with one specific country, and I already picked up all the extra books from the library, and so I'm going to just share with that as well. This is going to be covering Europe, so it's going to have I believe 7 countries of Europe and then 4 in South America, and then in the back there is some nature drawings and art drawings, and I'll show you that in just a second. So here's just kind of an intro, notebooking, books used in the study, and I'll show you that in just a second too. I have a whole stack. This one has a lot more books than the first one did. So it's going to start with Let's Visit France, and then it's always going to start by opening up this big map book, which I'll show you, and then this one comes with 4 books. Most of the time the countries come with just 1 or 2 books. France is one of the longest units in here, and then so is Great Britain. All the other ones are a little bit shorter. So it's going to start off with opening to the map, every single country, and then from there, each country will look a little bit different. So this one, they're going to be studying art. For that lesson 3, this is going to be one of the books that it comes with, and they'll tell you exactly when to use it, what lesson, so you don't have to worry like, oh man, when should I figure this out? Each lesson will correspond to whatever book, and again, there's usually some art. It just depends on the country. They're all different. So it's going to go through here is a library connection with history. So sometimes it incorporates history and biographies. So as you can see here, these books here are not part of the program, they don't come with the book packet. Anytime it says library connection, these are optional lessons. You don't have to do this. This is something that is just if you want to. So what I do is I go through, and every time I see that and I know we're going to start on a new chapter, on a new country, I go through and look at whatever library books. And if my library has them, then I check them out. Most of the time it does. But if the library doesn't, a lot of times these are actually read aloud on YouTube. And so that's something to consider as well. So this one, like I said, is a little bit of a longer one. It's going to go through, and then here is an art connection. So it's going to come with, this one is going to come with art masterpieces to color. It will come with that book, and it will show you when to do it. But like here they have a little blurb on Marie Curie. Here's another one just on Claude Monet. Now again, these books aren't necessary for the lesson, like they're not in the actual lesson, but these are options if you want to kind of expand and delve deeper and kind of make this a more complete and richer curriculum. I highly, highly recommend looking and doing these extra library books that they suggest. And I have found that this has been so wonderful. My girls love these. Edward Degas, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not even sure who that is, but we will find out. So again, this one is very long. Now we're going to be learning about him in our in an art study that we have. So I'm going to correspond when we talk about Matisse with learning about France. Rousseau, Cassatt, and I'm not even going to pronounce that. So there's art, there's poetry, there is music, as you can see here, Chopin. So there is so much. It is very Charlotte Mason in its approach. It's going to bring nature and history and, you know, obviously geography, all of it into one course. And it is just laid out so wonderfully. And then lastly, it's always going to finish off. This is something that will always be in every chapter, even though the middle of the chapter might be a little, so it'll start off with a map. The middle will be a little bit different. It'll be like a library connection, a history, art, poetry, whatever. But then at the very end, the last 2 lessons will be a nature connection. And in the back, they're going to have maps and art and animals that they can draw and color or watercolor or paint, whatever they would like to do. And they show a little bit. So like here's some indigenous animals to France, and they'll learn all about it. And then I usually add like a little 2-minute YouTube video so we can learn more about that animal. And then there will always be a cuisine that you can try. And so you can feel free to make these recipes if you want. We made some of them last year, not all of them. And that was one thing that we probably skipped the most. And then now it's going to go on to Spain. So I'm just going to kind of flip through now that you kind of get an idea of what this is going to be about. Again, all the other countries are going to be a little bit shorter. France was one of the longer ones, as well as Great Britain. But you can see here a library connection, a nature connection, a cuisine, going to Holland. And every book that they show at the beginning is the book that it does come with and that is recommended. And they do have the lesson based around. So let's say you have The Boy Who Held Back the Sea when you talk about Holland. So as you can see, introduce The Boy Who Held Back the Sea, and it's going to tell you a little bit about it. And a lot of times at the very end, they will have some comprehension questions and discussion questions. Not every time, but for the most part they do. So you can add those. And again, these, getting back to the library connection, these are not books that are part of the lessons. They are just books that you can check out, and it will give you a little bit of information too, what each one is, so that you can feel free to check out as little or, you know, as much of them as you want. Again, art, an artist, nature connection, and a cuisine. So I'm going to just flip through this so that you can kind of see, and then I'm going to show the books that it comes with. It's going to end with Chile, and then here we have, this is the animals that correspond with each country. So those were the animals of France. So they're going to make copies of those and paint them or color them or whatever you want to do, and then cut them out and put them in their little notebook. Each child should have there's own notebook, and then there's the country of France, and then the flag. So each one is going to have that as well. And then so that's going to be for every single country. And then back here, they're going to show the art, famous artworks from that country as well. So here's art. So there's the Eiffel Tower in Holland. And it's not every country, Spain. It's just some of the countries. Sweden. So they're going to be able to recreate that as well. Ecuador, Brazil, and Chile. Okay, so here's the book that it comes with. So it's not going to be a lot of chapter books. This is the only chapter book that it comes with, and it's still not even that long. Like, it still has pictures, and how many pages is it? It's only, I like 80 something pages. So it's not too long. You can definitely feel free to add your own chapter books. Absolutely. I'm going to add something and I'll show you what I add in just a second. So this is Carl Get Out of the Garden. I'll just kind of peek in and show you kind of what they look like from the inside. We're sailing to Galapagos, a week in the Pacific. These are just, obviously some of them are from Europe, some of them are from South America. I don't have them in any specific order. I just kind of grab them from my shelf, my bookshelf. Then we have the story of Ferdinand. I still want to see that movie. I haven't seen it. My girls have seen it. Anno's Italy. So they have a few of these Anno's. Anytime it says Anno's, these are wordless books, and it's just pictures of either city life or country life, or you know, suburban life in these countries. This man who wrote all these books visited all these places, so he's going to kind of tell you what he did. This is him right there. And then he's going to explain the scenes, so you kind of can go through that. And this, I think, is good for, it's okay for littler kids. It's probably better for older kids, so if you have them, you can kind of more describe it. I honestly don't go too in depth with these. So there's Italy, there's Spain, Anno's Journey, and Anno's Denmark. And then we have Energy Island. And again, these are all the books that come with the book pack. So it's there's so many. I think there's like 20 something books. It's a really awesome that it comes with all these. The rainforest grew all around. And they're all different types. They're not like all the same style of book, as you can see. That one's really pretty. Ooh, that one's really pretty. Honestly, I haven't even looked in all of these. I just knew from last year that we loved this one so much that I was going to automatically get part 2. So I didn't really need to even look in all of the books. I knew that we were going to really enjoy them. Oh, that one looks cute. Okay, and then last one, Wings for Purr. So it also comes with this art masterpieces to color. I had to grab all of these from my cart because they're already ready to go. So this is 60 great paintings from Botticelli to Picasso. So it's going to tell you when to do that as well. And I believe you only need one of these. It only comes with one in the course because you can make copies. I think this is awesome. Like, not only to expose your kids to this art, but like have them recreate it. I don't think you're probably going to do all of it because there's a decent amount in here. It's a pretty thick book, but I think that this is a really cool resource to have. Then it also comes with this notebook, and you can either get an extra one of these or you can just use your own notebooks. Last year we just used our own notebooks, so you know, it doesn't really matter. You can do either or. And these are the 2 books that come with the Great Britain unit. So I didn't show those just a second ago, but it's actually these 2. The Finding Winnie, the story of the world's most famous bear. I'm actually really excited to get this one and read this one. So we will read about Winnie the Pooh. And then here is The Right Word. So again, this is for Great Britain as well. So it comes with all of those books. And then here we have, these are books that they recommended for their library haul. So what I do is about a week or so before I know we're starting another country, I will go through and I will look in the library connection. So let me show you here. So Larissa wanted to start off with Great Britain. We're actually not going in order. That's another thing. Someone suggested, one of the viewers, one of you commented and said, hey, I let my daughters choose whatever lesson or whatever country they want to study next. So that's what we did last year. But for this year, I am going to let them do that. But I did say we're going to study only Europe first or South America, and I let them choose, and they chose Europe. So we're going to study the whole continent, and then they can choose within that continent. So she chose Great Britain. So like I said, France and Great Britain are the longest ones. All the other ones are a little bit shorter. And so I will go through So here's a historical connection. So I could only find a few of these at the library. This one, and this one. There is a library connection, Tales of Old England. So this is like Canterbury Tales and King Arthur and Robin Hood. So I'm really excited about that. And then our author connection, so Charles Dickens. So I got a few of those. I couldn't get all of them. And then what else? We have Shakespeare, of course. You can't study England without Shakespeare, so I got a few of those. And then that is all I got for now. But since it's not just England, it's Great Britain, we are going to be doing a Scottish library connection and an Irish library connection. So when we get a little bit closer to that, then I will check out those books. But this is all I have for now as far as the extra books. And this is what extends this course and makes it longer. So you don't have to get these, like I said, but if you want to add extra picture books or do this course more often, I recommend that. So we got the This Is London, Secrets of Stonehenge. I think I added that one myself because I was like, let's talk, you can't talk about England without Stonehenge. So we did that. The Little Ships, World War II, Donkey of Gallipoli, I think. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. World War I, Tales from Shakespeare, Shakespeare and the Globe, St. George and the Dragon, Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, Good Queen Bess, Charles Dickens, Shakespeare, Knights, King Arthur and the Knight of the Round Table, Dick Whittington and His Cat, Dear Mr. Dickens. I added this one because I just was like, I kind of looked up, I usually don't add my own, but I looked up children's books about England and this one came up. And then Shakespeare's Tales. So I don't know, we probably won't get through this one because this one's pretty long. I also picked up this Charles Dickens book. Again, I'm not sure if we'll get into this because it's a whole chapter book and we already have a bunch. And so usually the longer ones, I'll check them out from the library, but we most of the time don't get to those. I just mostly stick to the picture books, but we have plenty to go with. It's a good amount and they're just learning from a young age. What I really like about this is they're learning from a young age to appreciate and have fun with these topics and with these concepts and, learning about history, but in a fun way. And I really think it's really engaging. All right, last thing, because my table is getting full. I pick up these missionary stories and we kind of correspond them. So I got George Mueller because he is a missionary in England. And then I got Rachel Saint. She is in Ecuador, which is in South America. So since those are the two continents we are learning about, we will read these simultaneously. And so I like to kind of add that as just an extra layer of kind of appreciation and having them, like, these people went through so many hard and difficult times. And I think it just shows kind of how not only a little bit about the culture during that time, but also just kind of the difficulties and just, I don't know, I just really like adding these. So I recommend if you want to kind of add a storybook or, missionary story or something like that, something like these Christian hero tales or any other chapter book really if you want to, but we really like adding these. So hopefully you enjoyed that overview and that this was helpful and just so you can get an idea of kind of what this program and this course looks like. We really, really, really love it. We started last year with part 1 and it was all of my daughter's favorite subject besides math. They really, really love doing this and they're excited to start in and dive into part 2. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Also, if you are interested in what part 1 looks like, that you think that this looks good and you kind of want to see part 1, I will leave all those videos down below so you can kind of check those out too and kind of get a feel for if this will work for you, or if you've already used part 1 and you just are curious to see what part 2 is going to look like. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and again, stay tuned because throughout the year, I will do like a lesson with us and more of an in-depth. I'll do like one specific chapter, like one country we'll focus on and kind of give a more in-depth look at that. Thanks again for being here, everyone. I so appreciate you. If you have not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe so you can stay tuned and stick around for more homeschool content just like this. I do flip throughs and day in the life and all that type of thing. And so I'd love to have you here. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.